About MFRS 8 operating segment. According to this MFRS 8, entities are required to disclose information about the operating segments in the financial statement. The standard is based on the management approach, which means it uses internal reports that are regularly reviewed by the chief operating decision makers to assess performance and allocate resources. For instance, Binastra Corporation Berhad and Intabina Group Berhad applying MFRS 8 by identifying and reporting their key business segments. A segment is considered reportable if it meets any one of the 10% threshold criteria. That is, if its revenue, profit or loss, or total assets represent at least 10% of the total amount of the company. In this case, for the Binastra Corporation Berhad, the construction segment has exceeded 10%, which make the construction segment is reportable segments. While for the Intabina Group Berhad, both construction segments and property development has exceeded 10%, which make the both segments are reportable.
Next, we will look at the Chief of Decision Making or CODM. The CODM refers to the person or group responsible for several key functions within a company. Firstly, they are the ones who allocate resources to different business segments. They also review the performance of each segment to ensure the company is moving in the right direction. Typically, the CODM is the CEO, the Managing Director, or the Executive Committee, depending on the company structure. Now, for Binastra Corporation Berhad, the individuals shown here are Tan Sri Datuk Syamsuri bin Arshad, who served as the Independent Non-Executive Chairman, and Datuk Tan Kak Seng, who holds the position of Managing Director. They are the key people responsible for decision-making within the organization. Next, for Intabina Group Berhad, Dr. Lim Pang Kiam served as the Independent Non-Executive Chairman. Meanwhile, Lim Ui Ju is the Managing Director. These leaders from the CODM of the company overseeing resource allocation, strategy, and performance evaluation.
Alright, there are two types of segmental reporting, which is business segment and geographical segment. For business segment, they are based on business activity, while geographical segment based on operating location. Alright, let's look for our company. For both Intabina Group Berhad and Binastra Corporation Berhad use business segment reporting. For Intabina, the segment are construction and property development, while for Binastra, the segment are construction and investment holding. This means both companies report their performance based on different type of business activity. Alright, they do not use geographical segment because all their operations are mainly carried out in Malaysia. So overall, both companies focus only on business segment reporting to show how each business contribute to their total revenue and profit. Alright.
Next is the two key benefits of segmental reporting for financial statement users. First, it can improve decision making. Investors, management, and other users can make more informed decisions by analyzing which segment drive growth or losses. Second is for the risk assessment purpose. Segmental reporting helps users identify which parts of the business are more exposed to risk, such as market change and economic conditions. For instance, here in Intabina's report, users can clearly see that the construction segment is the main profit driver, while the property development segment is growing and the other segment is loss-making. For the risk assessment, we can see it here in Binastra's report that the construction segment carries very high risk because it holds assets amounting to about 959 million ringgit and liabilities of around 827 million ringgit. This means any downturn in the construction industry would significantly affect the group. Meanwhile, the investment holding segment carries much lower risk because its assets and liabilities are far more smaller. By revealing this concentration, the segmental reports help users clearly see which segment contributes most to the company's overall risk.
Under MFRS 134 Interim Financial Reporting, it is the standard that guides how companies prepare and present financial reports for periods that are shorter than a full financial year. This standard is important because many stakeholders rely on timely updates, not just annual reports. The main objective of MFRS 134 is to ensure interim financial report information is timely, reliable, and relevant. This helps stakeholders such as investors, creditors, and regulators make well-informed decisions throughout the year. For companies listed on Bursa Malaysia, there is an additional requirements. Listed entities must submit their quarterly financial reports within 2 months after each quarter ends. This ensures transparency and keeps the market updated. MFRS 134 has several important features. First, preparing interim report is not mandatory, but once prepared, they must comply with the standard. It prescribes the minimum content required for such reports. It also sets out the recognition and measurement principle for interim periods. Finally, it focuses on changes that have occurred since the last annual report, ensuring users see what is new or significant. Under recognition and measurement, companies must assess materiality based on the interim period. If there are changes in accounting policies, they must restate prior periods to maintain comparability. MFRS 134 provides two options when presenting interim financial statement: a complete set of financial statement or condensed set, which includes statement of financial position, statement of profit or loss, statement of cash flows, changes in equity, and selected explanatory notes. Comparative figures for the prior interim and annual periods must also be included. Finally, there are several important disclosure areas. First is consistency of accounting policies, and second is any significant estimated changes or unusual items, events that occur after the interim period, and material information relating to different segments of the company. This disclosure helps users understand not just the numbers but also the context behind them.
Next, I will discuss about significant events and transactions for Binastra Corporation Berhad. We can see that during the financial year, trade and other payables increased significantly from Rm 326.7 million to Rm 560.7 million as at 31st July 2025. This increase is mainly attributed to a higher level of construction activity and commencements of a new project during the quarter. The rise in payables reflects more transactions with suppliers, subcontractors, and material costs, which in turn increase current liabilities. However, this situation doesn't affect liquidity problems. Instead, it demonstrates strong business growth within the construction segments. Furthermore, the same activities are also contributed to an increase for revenue from Rm 230.9 million to Rm 396.8 million, which these show an overall improvement in the company's performance.
Alright, next, we can see Intabina's significant change. So by their segmental report, we choose the property, plant and equipment, PPE, that show the increase from 41.46 million ringgit Malaysia in December 2024 to 51.21 million ringgit Malaysia in June 2025. This rise is almost 10 million ringgit Malaysia, show that the company has invested in new machinery and construction equipment. The investment support their ongoing construction project and the growth of their property development segment, which started growing trend in 2023. This change is important because it reflects business expansion. Intabina is not just maintaining its asset but actively increasing its production capacity in future projects. So from the financial point of view, this means a stronger asset base, though it also comes with higher borrowing to finance the purchase. Overall, the increase in PPE show that the company is gearing up for the growth and prepared to handle more projects in the coming year. Thank you.
These are the period for current and comparative interim financial statement for the second quarter and 6 months ended 2025. For Binastra Corporation Berhad, the interim financial statement for the second quarter ended 31st July 2025 report the financial position as at 31st July 2025 with a comparison to 31st July 2024. The statement of profit or loss covers the 3 months period from 1st of May to 31st July 2025 compared with 1st May to 31st July 2024. Meanwhile, both the statement of change in equity and the statement of cash flows cover the 6-month period from 1 February to 31st July 2025, with comparative figures for 1st February to 31st July 2024. Next is for the Intabina Berhad. The interim financial statement for the period ended 30th June 2025 present the financial position as at 30th June 2025, with a comparison to 30th June 2024. The statement of profit or loss covers the 3 months period from 1st April to 30th June 2025 compared with 1st April to 30th June 2024. Meanwhile, both the statement of change in equity and the statement of cash flows cover the 6-month period from 1st January to 30th June 2025, with comparative figures from 1st January to 30th June 2024.